I am continuing with Bethany Webster's The Mother Wound. This is part 2. And I'm starting with the comment, I am not a bad girl. And what does that mean? Self-sabotage. When we're loyal to the mommy to feel okay, we had to press down our independence and our true self. There's restriction, control, staying small. We have to start looking, what is love for us? Not being a good girl for someone else to be loved. What is love for us? Our own definitions. For me, for example, becoming an individual and loving myself for my individuality rather than being how I was supposed to be then or to others. The status quo is to be complying and to be expected, but being lovable is to be lovable as I am. Inner safety causes resilience to build, and we are lovable just as we are based on our perspective. We had to give our power away because it was unsafe to step into our power. We had to be invaded, punished, manipulated, violated. Paying attention to memories, feelings, and clues are the way to the deeper root and to identify the ways. So talking to the inner child is how we empathize with the inner child and validate her with a loving sincerity, and then differentiate the past and the present. Now we're in choice. Now we can take space or time. Now we can tell ourselves how I am the adult and I'm protecting her, and not feeling trapped, being violated as the same way that we weren't safe back then, but we're safe now. A positive vision is that life is getting better and better as we detoxify from the emotions we couldn't feel. The original pain can leave us, and all emotions are temporary, even if it feels like it's getting stuck. Staying present, and we take empowered actions that make it real and affirmed. We're different than our mothers. The past is over, and we don't need love and validation so desperately from others. We can even tell ourselves, you're responsible for your feelings, and I have fear because my mother made me do it. I need you to honor to someone else. And, like an other. We have the most, I have the most amazing safe woman as my inner mother, better than anyone else could be. And with children, it's not making them be our support, allowing them to be different, honoring their separateness when they get triggered. It has nothing to do with them. Our mothers, we were birthed and bonded to her to survive and develop properly, versus the father. We share a gender, so our teacher for what it is to be a woman in womanhood. And as partners, each takes care of our own child, not seeking happiness of our own inner child, like each partner, not seeking happiness in the other person, supporting each other with increasing awareness, not expecting the other to carry our triggered pain. There's no perfect inner mother. We'll make mistakes. Every rupture is the opportunity for repair. Sincere apology and commitment, disappointment followed by acknowledgement, empathy, follow through, showing up again and again. We can say things like, you're worth it for me to keep trying and I'll always come back. We can say, I'm trying my best to be the mother you always needed and deserved. This is how we can talk to ourselves. I'm just getting another part of this. This work has nothing to do with our mother's input and reactions, because it's about our internal work and choices and undoings and dismantling. We do everything for our own sake and honoring our own happiness and boundaries. We keep on coming back to the present moment and learning what actually makes us feel loved and like we matter, the inner child and the adult. Continuing now into breaking the cycle, the final part. So when we break the cycle, it's loyalty patterns, which are beliefs with a core of subjugation. If we don't feel safe, loved, approved of, we will self-sacrifice, self-sabotage, and self-oppress. Keep your voice down. Don't take too much. These are hardwired points of reference that are external. We have to dismantle them through healing. We can build an inner fidelity, like a trust, like a reliability, that we see ourselves and permit ourselves. 1, internalized beliefs. These are inherited that we hold on to, that we hold ourselves back in order to be loved and approved of. 2, cultural, not being able to be individuals, have to give ourselves away to be visible or out there. 3, spiritual, is like the life, the planet, trustworthy enough for us, is God, basically connection, belonging, God, body, nurture. Then we have 4, planetary, earth, to be objectified, exploited. These all can have food, body anxiety, feeling invaded and smothered, feeling inherently flawed, perfectionism, addiction, fear of abandonment, feeling paralyzed or helpless or not enough, The myth is you'll be hurtful, selfish, and unlovable if you are your authentic self. But safety now can come from within, attachment to to me, right? To oneself as the new pattern. The fears are, I owe my mother something, I can't be too successful because it'll threaten her, I'll leave her behind, she'll try to undermine me, gaslight me, but the way my mother treats me has nothing to do with my worth. It requires grieving the impossible dream, letting her go, seeing her as wounded, not needing her to validate me anymore. And we can imagine that our lineage, our heritage of ancestral women cheering us on through feelings that we become less threatening, and they can be emotional messengers with wisdom and guidance. This is what it is to be a woman. Less needing of external to want, like, or approve of us because we're giving it to ourselves instead of yo-yoing as much. We organize our life around our own truth and self-love and become more emotionally available. We're not just us, but for others too. And more pleasure, more play, more self-trust can build, more than trusting the other people's changing feelings. We start to find a sanctuary, a home inside. Simple feelings become wonderful, more wonderful. There's less stress of controlling life, starting to feel life is on our side. Bringing what we need, intimacy with life. Life is on our side, that it's always holding us, caring for us. We are beloved. The change of external gets less threatening. It's not just tenderness, but a fierceness of the inner mother starts too. We can learn to set and maintain boundaries. We can say no and walk away. We don't need approval. We can be at peace with ourselves. It sets us up to be a leader in our own life, to follow our own path in alignment with our truth as a role model, less influenceable, feeling safe in our own skin and going with what feels good. We can use all that freed up energy for so much, because I'm adding this now, there are people who want to exploit our hard work and our compassion. And as long as we still have the mother wound, we can get hurt in that wound. Someone can come in through there. So this requires building trust through, 1, consistency. This is how we update the algorithms of safety beyond the maternal horizon, that it's safe to love ourselves, to speak up, to be ourselves. It requires building trust, right? So 1 is consistency, 2 is speaking lovingly and empathetically, 3, it's recognizing that we're different than our mothers. So we have to make that clear by not being resentful of the inner child as a burden or a chore, not being narcissistic toward the inner child. These were the things that were modeled toward us, not being so self-absorbed. We don't see the inner child. We can use our mother gap to see which needs didn't get met. 4, we can validate and differentiate then from now. And 5, with the inner dialogue, we can say things to ourselves like, I'm here, I'm with you, I won't leave, I got you. And finally, maybe this is most important, number 6, is playtime with ourselves. Thank you. I wish you an amazing Shabbos if you are observant. And if not, have a beautiful weekend. Should be smooth, rhythmic, discovery, miracles. Should be in the now and with education, with peace. Anybody who bothers us should just dissolve, melt away, disappear. We shouldn't worry about them at all. It should be proper support. It should be healthy connection. It should be people who love us and want the best for us. It should be about contribution and sharing. It should be with people who are respectful and kind-hearted and open-minded. Amen.